Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll be doing yet another unboxing, and this time it's going to be the Infinity Gauntlet series paperback edition. So this also has multiple comics into one. Unlike the other hardcover which I showed in my previous video, this is going to be the paperback edition instead. And without further delays, let's open this up. So this is it, and one thing which disappointed me a little bit was that they did not add any external layer of protection like the bubble wrap or a plastic cover. And the reason why I talked about this is because when they send it over during transit, there is a chance of damages. So if you can see here closely, there is a small dent over here, basically because it might have incurred during the transit. So in order to avoid that, only usually sellers cover it up with some kind of a bubble wrap or a plastic layer as an external source of protection. But anyways, apart from this, everything else is good. So the book is in one piece, so at least I can be happy in that perspective. So without further delays, let's dive deep into the book and maybe do a small flip through of that. So in my previous video, I've talked about what an omnibus is. Basically, it's a collection of multiple stories, multiple comics into one. So this is similar to that. The only difference being here is that this is in paperback. And let's firstly look at the cover art. It shows a description of Thanos holding the Infinity Gauntlet. And let's go and look at the back cover. So this is a collection of multiple heroes, and we'll just read through the basic description. So it's the Avengers, the New Warriors, the X-Men, and more against the omnipotent eternal Thanos. The Mad Titan has become the most powerful being in the universe, and enslavement or destruction may be the only choices he gives it. Successive Starlin sagas that shook space and time starts here. So basically this consists of 1 to 6 Infinity Gauntlet comics. So it's a collection of multiple comics, and basically I tried to get the hardcover of this one, but unfortunately it was not available in India, and this is the MRP. It is currently sold for around $24.99 in US and $27.99 in Canada. We'll have a small discussion about the price and the seller from which I bought this from at the end of this video. And it's not expensive as that of the hardcover editions, but unfortunately this collects smaller volumes, so it does not the hardcover editions omnibus editions were so huge, but the paperback editions are actually smaller. They have their own pros and cons, as it's easier to read from the paperback editions, but the hardcover editions are huge and difficult to carry. But these ones are small, but I always prefer the hardcover omnibus editions better compared to this ones. So let's do a small flip through of this. So maybe from the cover art itself, you might wonder what the story is about. So Thanos has already collected all the gems, Infinity Stones, and right now he's holding the Infinity Gauntlet. So basically the story is all about that. And before this, I think it's better if you could read the Thanos quest. It embarks on Thanos' journey to collect all these Infinity Stones, and it is actually a pretty good story also to read. And apart from the MCU, which you might have seen in theaters, the story is slightly different. The people holding the Infinity Stones, those people and all are completely different in the comics compared to that of the movies. And I think I like the comics a little bit better. It has some depth into Thanos' character, how manipulative he is and how he attains the stones. That is actually a fun read. So if you guys can read the Thanos quest before this, it would make it a bit more ideal. So let's dive into this. And basically this starts with a guide which will show you where to begin and the best way to explore the Marvel universe. And basically I think it lists down a list of books which you can refer to. And the next image which we see is the Infinity Gauntlet, and it looks marvelous. And this page, it gives credits to different writers. And this is where the story begins. And I think Thanos has already collected the Infinity Stones, and the end begins here. That's a good description. So basically we'll do a small flip through of this. I won't go into detail. And the character of Adam Warlock, okay, that is like highly disregarded in the MCU. It's not given that much importance in the films, movies, etc. But basically, this guy, that is Adam Warlock, he is actually very much important in the comics, and he plays a like pivotal role in all these Infinity Gauntlet series. So this was a good buy for me actually. I wanted to collect this comic for a long time. I've been looking out for the hardcover of this, but unfortunately I think it might have gone out of print and it was not easily available. Maybe once the reprint comes in I might get it in future, but currently that was not available since because of that I had to like get the paperback. But this one is actually easy to carry. It's like lightweighted, so maybe it will improve my reading experience a bit. So it has like different characters: Iron Man, Doctor Doom. So coming back to the real story, Thanos already has the Infinity Stones, and now it's time for the heroes to band together to face Thanos collectively. And this is where the importance of Adam Warlock comes into place, because in comic, Adam Warlock is the person who unites all the heroes to face off against Thanos. And in the movies, the his importance is actually downplayed a little bit. Probably they have like taken a different turn compared to the comics, and this is what makes the comic interesting, because it does not follow the exact thing as that given in the MCU. So it is actually a fresh start for any new readers as well. And basically the real reason why Thanos like collects the Infinity Stone is to impress Death. So this is actually Death. And it's actually a fun perspective when you look at it, and that is one of the reasons why I think I liked the story a little bit better. Haven't read it in depth though. I have read the Thanos quest, and this Titan is actually very powerful also. Even without the Infinity Stones also he can like defeat most of the Avengers, and the story is actually pretty good. And I think this Infinity Gauntlet series is like one of the very, very best. And basically I think it's a good read for any Marvel fan out there. So now it's time to discuss about the price as well as the seller which I bought this from. So as you might have all guessed, this particular book I bought from Amazon, and the seller's name is Cocoa Blue Retail, and this is actually a trusted seller. I've like purchased a lot of books from them recently, illustrated editions, comics, etc. The only problem with them is that they don't pack the books in a neat manner. When I say neat, it means that they have not included any bubble wrap or any kind of a plastic layer when they send the products. Basically, that is something which I prefer a lot. But even though they do that, they actually send original books, which is something good. And this is a seller which I can trust. So that aside, now let's talk about the price. I bought it for around 1,573. I'll like list down the name of the seller as well as the price somewhere along with this video for better view. And I think the price dropped a bit at just now around 1,300 something. And if you ask me whether this book is worth it for that price, definitely it's comics. It will be expensive and there is no other way around it. So unfortunately, if you like comics and if you want to read it, there is no other way. Otherwise, there is an option of digital comics, which I don't prefer that much. I love to have the comics collected myself, and if possible, I like to collect hardcovers directly. And paperback edition is something which I don't prefer that much, but it is also good in case if you are not getting that omnibus hardcover editions. In that scenarios, I prefer. It's okay for me to adjust with paperback. So this is definitely a good read, and Infinity Gauntlet is one of the best